Okay, today we're going to talk about our standard about writing inequalities, and I'm going to talk specifically for those of you that are in my class what a level 4 is going to look like. So a level 4 is going to be above and beyond just writing the inequality or the equality or the expression, but it's actually going to be creating something. And here's what I want you to create. I want you to create your own story problem that then you could model with an inequality or an equality. So, for example, if I give you this equation, uh, 2x plus 3y is equal to 5, I want you to come up with a story that we could then solve this for it. So here we go. So let's say we're selling something. Selling something tends to work really well, but it doesn't have to be selling something. Maybe something else is going on, but let's use selling this time. So we're going to sell something. Okay. And what am I going to sell? I got two things here. One's called X and one's called Y. So the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to figure out what X and Y are going to stand for so that I can make up my story. Let's say that X is balls, maybe like bouncy balls. Here, we're going to make them bouncy balls. And let's make Y frisbees. Okay, so I now have bouncy balls and frisbees, and I'm looking at this. I'm thinking, maybe this is at a toy store, maybe it's at a fair, maybe it's at a kid's something or other. So I'm gonna go with a fair this time. So I'm gonna make up a story about a fair. So here we go. First off, we want to relate it to someone, so we're gonna pick a name. Um, I'll just use myself this time. So Mr. Brown is working at a fair. Um, and he's selling toys. Okay? So the first sentence is generally just to introduce what's going on. So Mr. Brown is working a fair and he's selling toys. So we now know what's happening in this story. Okay? So now we need to do specific. So we're going to talk about bouncy balls. Well, we know that we have this 2 in front of X. So this is probably going to represent money. So apparently we're selling bouncy balls for $2, or really nice big bouncy balls because they're going to cost $2, and our frisbees are costing $3. So they better be some pretty cool frisbees. So let's say he sells bouncy balls for $2 and frisbees for $3. Okay, and then I see this 5 on the other side. Well, that 5 is going to be some type of a goal. What the total is. Actually, it's not a very good goal, but hey, apparently we're not doing very well. So let's say that we want to sell $5 worth of stuff. Actually, this is a bad example. We're going to change that number up. Let's make it much taller so it's more realistic. Let's go ahead and say that it's 200. All right, so that's our new goal. So we're going to make it 200. Otherwise, it would just be $5, and that's kind of boring. So just to make it more exciting, I'm going to change it to 200. So we have a goal. Mr. Brown, goal is to sell $200 worth of merchandise. And I think I spelled that word right now. All right. And then the last line is going to be talking about instructions. So you want to tell the person what they're supposed to do. Well, what is this person supposed to do? They're supposed to write an equation. So write an equation for the total profit from selling toys. So now we've told the students what to do. They're supposed to write an equation, which is what this is up here, an equation for total profit, because we have total profit right here. And what did we do? We sold these toys, Frisbees and bouncy balls. Okay, so now we have our story, and this would be what a level 4 question is going to look like. However, when you make your level 4s, I don't want you to simply use this blueprint and only this blueprint. So I shouldn't see you change just the name out. Okay, so we have a new name, and then you change what you sell, and then you change the amount of the goal and simply rewrite it. I want you to come up with your own examples. This is just my example. So come up with your own examples. Be creative with it. But I don't want to see the same thing over and over again, because all you're doing is copying mine and just changing it. So let's say here would be another example, and this is what I don't want you doing, is just saying, okay, so instead of Mr. Brown, it's going to be Mr. White is working at, and then you pick somewhere else, a toy store, and he's going to sell, let's not even make it a toy store. It's going to work at a bakery, and he sells brownies for $2 and muffins for $3. Mr. White's goal is to sell $200 worth of pastries. Write an equation for total profit for selling his pastries. Okay, I want you to make sure you come up with a little bit more creative than simply just copying this example down all the time. All right, if you have any questions, please make sure you ask. But now you know what a level 4 should look like.